Good day everybody, Chris Farhi here from the Bayleys Insights Data team. We've got Ankur Dakwale talking about the biggest news in New Zealand real estate. I've got some beautiful weather today, Ankur.
Yeah, luckily. It's cold, but it's beautiful. Nice foggy morning in Auckland this morning, so it's good.
Yeah, it's nice. It's 2 days now, so that's got to be a record for this year.
Yeah.
So we've got good content for this week's video. So we've got the latest OCR decision. We've got the Bayleys Commercial total property, quick intro on that. The government's plans to improve competition in the building supply sector, snapshot of recent sales from the Christchurch residential market, and of course we've got the property of the week. So Ankur, first off we had Reserve Bank increasing the OCR.
Yeah, so no surprises there. Reserve Bank has increased their OCR yet again, so they've increased it by 25 basis points from 5.25% to 5.5%. Same things as before, they're trying to curb demand in the country, slow down the economy. But what's quite interesting here is that they also indicate that this potentially might be the last increase that they do.
Yeah, and that's quite a good milestone for particularly the housing market, with a pretty clear signal from the Reserve Bank that was probably the final increase for the time being. Although if we recall back to Australia, was it a month ago, there was a surprise extra increase.
Yeah.
So you never know, maybe they'll play that tactic, but at this stage it looks pretty good. The other thing in the background of their latest monetary policy statement is they updated their forecast for house prices. And the interesting thing there was they actually lifted the overall projection. So it shows prices stabilising at a much higher level than their prior statement in February. So yeah, pretty good. Hopefully brings a bit more confidence to the housing market and supports our theory that there will be a pickup in the back half of this year. Next up, the Bayleys Commercial team released their latest total property portfolio for the year. So this is issue number 4. This one has a really good selection, 66 commercial properties for sale across New Zealand. We've got development land, industrial warehouses, we've got office buildings. We also had like a McDonald's.
Oh, that's quite interesting, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got the site of New Zealand's first McDonald's restaurant in central Auckland. And Ankur, we also had a couple of articles in there.
Yeah, so a couple of articles. So the first one is many moving parts, so update on market conditions, election insights, so pre-election briefing, including comments from major parties, embedded ESG, so how to embed ESG into the commercial property, and own and occupy, so update on activity by owner-occupiers.
Yeah, awesome. Some really good content there, so well worth checking out that latest magazine. And so, Ankur, next up we've got the government who released some plans around what they're going to do to respond to competition in the building supply sector.
Yeah, so if you guys remember last year, we had a bottleneck of building supplies in New Zealand. So whether this was due to availability, supply chains, or just not being able to use alternatives. So the government is looking to improve these, and they've taken on some of the recommendations from the Commerce Commission's report that was released in December 2022. Actions include monitoring and publishing prices of key building supplies, more guidance to incorporate alternate products, driving more off-site manufacturing by government agencies to improve productivity and competition. This is quite an interesting space, and hopefully this will ease some supply chain issues into the future.
It's interesting timing as well, right? Because what we've seen over particularly the latest quarter of building consent stats was the numbers had gone down a fair amount, and so I guess correspondingly we'll probably see more supply available within the supply chain. Yeah, so it'll be quite hard to work out what caused what, but either way we can probably expect a bit more competition.
Yeah, and hopefully lower prices.
Yeah, 100%. So next up we've got a snapshot of recent sales from the Christchurch residential market, and we thought we'd make this part of our ongoing video series where we just touch on a sample of sales within a particular market, keeping in mind that we've obviously got residential, commercial, rural, lifestyle all across New Zealand. So this week, Christchurch residential. So Ankur, what's our first sale?
Yeah, so first sale we have is 4 Mersham Drive in Prebbleton. This is 4 bedrooms, 3 bathroom home on 1,004 square meters of land. It's Passion for Perfection, sold by auction, sold for $2 million by Adam Hazelwood and Olivia Batchelor from Bayleys in Maryvale.
So second property in our sample is 65C Idris Road in Fendalton in Christchurch. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, described as mid-century style. It was sold by auction and sold for $720,000 by Emma King from Bayleys Christchurch. Then Ankur, we've got one in Sydenham.
Yes, so we have 6 by 25 Rogers Street in Sydenham in Christchurch again. And this was 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, superb city fringe living. This was sold for $435,000 by Sean Creek and Liam Worsfold from Bayleys in Preston.
Yeah, so a good sample of properties down there. The one that sticks out for me is that property in Prebbleton. And so that's the $2 million sale. And if you're not familiar with Christchurch, Prebbleton's on the outskirts of the main sort of urban area. Ankur, that house in Auckland, what do you reckon?
Yeah, so if you bring that house up to Auckland, and bear in mind we just saw some photos of this, you could easily be looking anywhere double or even a bit more than that. So it's definitely a good buying down in Christchurch.
So question for you if you're watching, what should we look at next? We'll probably go commercial, just a bit of rotation, but what location are you interested in? Chuck a comment in the comment section. Next up, moving offshore, our global partner Knight Frank released their latest London review for Q2 2023.
Yeah.
So Ankur, we had some stuff around prime London residential.
Yeah, so in the prime market in London, what they've noticed is that the average price is now only a little bit lower than what they had pre-pandemic. In the prime market over there, they didn't see the big spike in prices that we saw in New Zealand. So they can see it's pretty much normalized there. And even on the listing side, they have an increase in the listings by about 20%. And these are to the more normal stock levels that they saw pre-pandemic. And what about on the rental side, Chris?
Yeah, so on the rental market, there's been a big increase in rental rates. So up 27% in central London over the past 12 months. And then up 23% in prime outer London over the past 12 months as well. So quite a big surge in that rental market. Rental supply has also been increasing in those higher price bands. So that's maybe a trend to watch in terms of new rental supply coming to the market there as well. Next up, our global partner Knight Frank also released their latest Asia Pacific data centre update for Q1 2023. And so Ankur, there was a big increase in capacity.
Yeah, so capacity across the APAC market has now surpassed 13,400 megawatts. Now this was an increase of about 425 megawatts since the start of the year.
Yeah, also interesting the areas where it's expanding. So the biggest expansions we're seeing in Mumbai, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur and Tokyo. I guess I'd add in, some of the expansion we're seeing in New Zealand and places like Auckland and into Southland. And Ankur, the investment drivers for that sector were quite interesting. What do we know about those?
Yes, we've got investors that are diversifying into this market now. This is largely due to the higher inflation and weaker economic outlook. So the investors are able to see demand in this data center market.
And then finally, to wrap up, we've got our property of the week. And this week we're sampling from our latest Bayleys Commercial total property portfolio. So Ankur, what have you got for us?
Yeah, so my property of the week is the 256 to 260 Queen Street. This is in Auckland Central. Now this is Golden Opportunity on Queen Street. It's a late 1800s Victorian building. It's 1,760 square meters sitting on 883 square meters of land. Originally the ASB building, and since 1977 was a location of New Zealand's first McDonald's. Now, this is being sold with vacant possession. So if you want to learn more about this, please get in touch with Lane Howard, Ian Hall or Alan Haydock from the Bayleys Commercial team.
So my property of the week this week is 324 Manchester Street in Christchurch Central. So this is an immaculate inner city investment, modern high stud warehouse, showroom and office, constructed in 2015. It's got 3,162 square metres of floor area on a 3,558 square metre site. Strong tenant covenant with National Business Plus Government Agency, returning around 679,000 per annum. And if you want to learn more, you can contact Stuart White or Alex White from the Bayleys Commercial team. With that said, we'll wrap it up here. So thanks very much, Ankur.
Thanks, Chris.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.